My name is Harvey San Nicolas. I'm Justin Ray San Nicolas' father. He was in the Marine Corps and in the National Guard. He joined the Marine Corps when he was 17 and a half, went in the Marine Corps, served 4.5 years, extended by 6 months to do his third trip to Iraq. He got out in December of '05, and while living in San Jose in June of '06 with his fiancee, he joined the National Guard. Walked by the building, went in, came out, he was in the National Guard. The next month, in July of '06, he got sent back to Iraq for his fourth trip. And it was February the 11th, his weapon was broken down, unfunctional, he was trying to repair it. It went off and it killed his friend standing next to him. A very tragic accident, but in the Uniform Code of Military Justice, it's called negligent homicide. A negligent homicide calls for a minimum of 3 years in prison. So he's facing a prison charge. My ex-wife, who lived in Arizona, flew to Granada Hills, I believe it was, for the funeral for the young man that got killed, who was a Christian. He was raised by a colonel, who was a colonel in the Army, his uncle. His father died early in his life, and his mother. Well, when she introduced herself to the colonel and the mother, the first thing the colonel said is, "How is your son doing?" They did call him in Iraq, and the colonel said to my son, "You know, I'm praying for you." And the mother said, "You know, you didn't kill my son. God used you to bring him home." The reason I mention these things is because, as a Christian parent, one of the things we've always wanted our son to learn was about Christ and so forth. So anyway, one incident that he did recount to me was he had to leave his room. He didn't want to go anywhere on base because of the recrimination and questions. He was standing in line, and this big guy came from behind him and put his hand on his shoulder, and he wheeled around. And the guy said to him, he says, "You don't know me and I don't know you, but God sent me to tell you you're going to be okay." Well, he didn't know what to make of that. So the court-martial time came, and he went to the court-martial. And the judge said to him, "I can't send you to prison. The psychiatrists have deemed you to be a severe case of post-traumatic stress syndrome. But you are negligent in the accident." And he busted him down to private and gave him a bad conduct discharge. What happened is we considered that a blessing. You know, all the prayers that went on for my son at church and so forth. He wasn't going to die in Iraq, and we can deal with a bad conduct discharge. And I already told you where he's at right now. So as a family, with all the things that we've gone through, and an article came out in the Modesto Bee before about, soldiers in service, and I was interviewed for that, and the interviewer asked me how I felt about it. I said, he's in God's hands. There's nothing I can do. God will take care of my son according to his will. And so once again, God has demonstrated his hand, So we're just fortunate and glad that my son is okay, and we thank God for sparing him. The real heroes in all this thing came home a different way.